Hey fellow Outriders, it's Angry Turtle, and today I have some amazing build for you. I think that's the most satisfying build that I tried in Outriders so far. Definitely not the most overpowered of all the builds, but the most satisfying and can do City 15 with gold, what's the most important, because you need it to keep farming for your legendaries. And maybe this time I will start from demonstration how it works, because that's the most important. And we'll be doing Scorch Lands, as you need any map with monsters, not humans. And I will just quickly show you why this build is so satisfying and how to play it. And then I will go over everything I'm using to make this build work. Then basically you run towards the enemies, whatever is the map. Then you toss your 2 turrets and grab your minigun. And that's when the fun part starts, because this minigun is not great early on, but there is a mod that gives you more and more ability power when you kill enemies. Only for 3 seconds though, but this 3 seconds does stack. If you can kill enemies faster than once per 3 seconds, all those stacks are being applied and you do more damage. And what even more important, your turrets will do more damage as well. Then, like in this situation when you have only small enemies, you don't even need to place any turrets. You just kill them to ramp up your ability power. And yes, the minigun is super satisfying. And there is one more advantage for the minigun and for using it over any other weapon. Minigun makes you immune to staggers. Like all those creatures can run on you, jump into you, and you will not get staggered. And as you can see, I'm getting more and more damage as we play here. Just because all those little monsters are going on me and they dying faster than once per 3 seconds, then I'm getting stacks. I'm losing 1 stack per 3 seconds as well. Then if monsters are not coming, then my power will slowly drop. But that's okay. That's enough power for most of the time. Oh, did this bird just got stuck in there? I think like it's looked like that. He's totally stuck. And now the fun part. You see all those alphas jumping on me? I do not experience a single stagger. They cannot stagger me. And let me place the turrets now. Look, because I stack this AP, my turrets are doing more damage as well. I will need to kill this guy. Come on, turret. Shoot the birdie. Look at that. Melted by the turret alone. That's why you have those turrets. It helps you kill the bosses. As normally, as you can see, the downside is you walk very slowly, but you can walk slightly faster. If you hold the turret and you drag it like that, then you walk a little bit faster. There is a workaround to at least get a little bit of a speed. But look at the damage. Look at the damage when it's stuck up. When you're killing them really fast, the damage stays for a while. And you have a lot of damage. It's so satisfying. Your turrets, look at that. Your turrets are melting at this point. Melting everything. Look at those turrets. They're just killing everything. You don't even need to be close. Now only my turrets are working. And turrets heals you as well. Minigun heals better. But I need to kill some little critters. As you can see, if I do nothing, I start losing my stacks. And I need to recover some of those. But it's easy when you already have so much damage. It's perfect build for all the monster maps. Not for humans though, unfortunately, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really bad for humans, as they hide and you cannot do a thing to get to them. It's only for monsters. And another downside, every cutscene will reset your AP, then you will need to grind it again. But it's not too bad. Let's grab your minigun back up. If there is like a big guy, then you place your turrets. The turrets will take care of him, and you focus on those little guys to get your AP back up, your anomaly power back up. And then you see that this big guy, how much damage he's getting from turrets. And if you assist with your minigun, he's getting even more damage. But your job is mainly to keep getting those stacks for the minigun, for then to give this power to your turrets, as your turrets are melting this guy. Look what's going on, that's alpha. And I wasn't even trying, I was just talking a lot and showing the build. But I think that's enough demonstration. I will not complete this up in here, I will show you my times, but let's quit and show you the build now. Here, even though we quit, you can see the damage breakdown, the most you are getting from the minigun, but turrets are doing quite a lot as well. If you add it all together, that's almost 20 million, then you will get like 40 million from minigun and 20 million from your turrets. It will be more when I will get a third turret. Unfortunately, I'm super unlucky with the mod, but without further ado, let me show you. Of course, you already saw the skills, the class build. And that's how the class build look like. As you can see, I'm short 1 point to get overclocked on top of everything. But as this is not the most important, I will tell you what I took and why. Then first we go for more AP, as we need this initial kick with a minigun to start killing. We have resistance piercing, more AP. We have some resistance for ourselves, more AP. This one is important if you will occasionally play on a team. This bonus, Adrenalizing Antenna, it's not only for you, but for your allies as well. Then 30% for you and allies, that's a lot, if you play with allies that are using Anomaly Power. Then we have Ordnance, Skills Cooldown, then we have Anomaly Power again, and Resistance Piercing 15%. Then here where we go up, and that's extra damage for enemies with low health, that's good. Then we have more health to be more tanky. As you can see with this build, you are incredibly tanky and immune to staggers. Then you have gadget cooldown, then more health. This is important, exposing frost, because your melee attack, as it says in here, will apply frost. Then you can use melee attack to apply frost and therefore apply vulnerable on all those enemies. And your turret, the freezing one, will apply vulnerable as well. That's the easiest way to get vulnerable across. And we have as well the boost to damage versus frozen enemies. Then that's very important. That's more important actually than this. Then this is the highest priority in here. Then we have freeze on afflicted enemies, lasts 20% longer. That's very useful. We don't need more armor. I will tell you why, but we already like at the cap with armor with this build. Then we want freeze duration. Then this is useless, but there's no choice not to take it. And then we have more armor and more healing. Those two are not really useful, but we are going for this. Fracture. Enemies afflicted with freeze receive 30% more damage, and that's huge. That's 30% more damage multiplicative with all other damage sources, then that is huge. Therefore, as you can see what we are aiming for with this tree, we are aiming for that, we are aiming for that, we are aiming for this resistance piercing to be able to shred bosses, as you need to be able to shred bosses or this build will fail. Now the mods and what kind of gear we are using. Let's start on the weapon. Weapon type, weapon damage, nothing of the sort matters. But what matters, there are only two mods on weapon that do work with minigun. It's Fortress and Perpetuum Mobile. Those two perks will still work when you activate your minigun skill while this weapon is being equipped as your main weapon. Then that's what matters. What else works? Status power from the weapon will still apply, and armor pierce we are using with mod on armor. Then unit armor pierce, status power, and those two mods on your weapon. Fortress can be tricky because you need to drop a legendary with this effect, but there is no replacement. Unfortunately here there is no replacement. Now about armor, that's not a perfect piece, then let's start with chest piece. And that's what you are aiming for. Anomaly power, status power, and then either skill life leech or cooldown reduction. You don't actually need much of the skill life leech as you have a lot of built-in life leech and healing, then it's all just a bonus, it's not necessary. But whatever you will find useful is good. The core ones are anomaly power and status power. And now all the mods. Let's start with tier 1 mods. You have this cryo turret mod that scale its damage up based on your status power. That's why we want status power on every piece of armor and gear. And as you can see, I don't have it upgraded yet. My anomaly power and status power on some pieces still requires upgrades. Then the key mod, Tool of Destruction. Each enemy killed with the minigun gives you 38,000 anomaly power for 3 seconds. That would give us so much power. Even if you kill one enemy, this 38,000, that's a huge boost on top of everything. Another important mod, again for the minigun. Minigun grants 30% resistance piercing bonus. That's huge, that will be added to all our other resistance piercing. Then we have Fortify, that's what I said, you don't need any more armor. This will give you 187,000 armor just for the fact that your minigun is equipped. And the last tier 1 mod, again for the minigun, activating the skill grants a 100% base ammo increase for the selected tool. It's important to never run out of ammo. Then that's why we have it in here. And now tier 3 and tier 2 mods and mods combo. Unstoppable Force. Increase your anomaly power by 50% of your resistance piercing. That's one of the reasons we are stacking so much resistance piercing for the synergy with this mod. That's one of the reasons we have this mod in here. No resistance against the Fortify. Increase your resistance piercing by 50% of your armor piercing value. Then that's additional 15% resistance piercing just because we have armor piercing weapon and no other, but that's still a lot because don't forget that resistance piercing help you deal damage by itself, but thanks to this tier 3 mod, half of that goes as a bonus to our AP as well. And then if you will be able to get Shatter, 25% more damage against enemies afflicted by freeze. We already have 30% in skill 3, that will give you total of 55% increased damage versus enemies that are frozen. And all the enemies around you will be frozen if you use melee attack. Then that's it. Stand tall, don't look at that, I just didn't find a better piece of gear to replace it. It's not needed, it's just empty slot at this moment. Barely does anything. And the last one that I have is Captain Hunter. Increase your damage against elites by 25%. And this is the mod combo. About this stand tall, I want to replace it. I'm just looking for gear in order to replace it with a mod, tier 3 mod, that gives you ability to place 2 cryo turrets. Then stand tall will be replaced for the second cryo turret. And then this build will be perfect. Of course, I need to upgrade status power as my cryo turret scale of it. I need to upgrade my anomaly power. But now let me show you the stats if I drag out my minigun and cast my turret. Now let me show you how it changed. I'm starting with 228k anomaly power. That's a starting value. And that's almost 4000% damage increase. Now resistance piercing, we are sitting at 75%, therefore bosses have almost nothing to deal with us. Then we have physical damage reduction, almost cap, like 85% is maximum you can get. We are sitting at 84.8, then that's about cap. And only resistance itself is rather low at 20%, but as you are able to see, you don't actually need more. You heal so fast that with almost 22k health, you will be just fine and you shouldn't die. At least it's not happening to me when I'm doing recommended maps. And now let me show you what maps are recommended for this build. And unfortunately, to move a little bit faster, you need to drop the minigun. Then recommended map will be Archways of Enoch. And you actually, if you want to farm, you should farm only this one map, because you will do around 10 minutes. I will show you my times and it's relatively easy. It's perfect match for this build. Otherwise, if you want, you can do something like Scorchlands. It's what we started with. It's not too hard. You can easily do it. If not that, you can try Heart of the Wild, but it's more difficult, but you should be able to get City 15 gold. But here what I'm doing with this build, you can see Scorchlands with about 15 minutes. Archways of Enoch, it's less than 10 minutes to complete with this build. But keep in mind, you have 15 minutes timer to complete it, then you can really take your time, as this takes around 10 minutes and you have 15 minutes on the clock. Time Wars Spire, I do not recommend. It's a little bit too hard for this build. There's a little bit moving around required, and you don't have this ability to move around too much. And Heart of the Wild, as I said, harder, but you can do. But by the timers you can tell that Archways of Enoch, the easiest one and the fastest one. Then to keep doing that instead of doing anything else, if it's not on your map, just fast travel. Just go to Hannah, talk with her, fast travel anywhere, and you will have different options on the map. I like to fast travel like to Trench Town or Rift Town to check the shops if they will have any upgrade for my armor pieces. That's what I'm doing. And after every fast travel, as you can see, my expedition rerolled. Then you can reroll until you get Archways of Enoch and do that. And that's my turret and minigun build on Technomancer. Definitely guys, if you will try this build, let me know what you think. Do you feel good playing this build, being immune to all those staggers, wielding this heavy gun, slaying around those monsters, placing your turrets to kill them for you when needed? I found it very satisfying, and I think that's like the most important part, having a build that is satisfying and still can do the job. Therefore, I'm sharing it. And now, as always, thank you a lot for watching, and see you guys in the next one.